An alliance of Israel and America is an important alliance on the ground. But the Jewish people, what happens on the ground is only a reflection what happens from heaven above. Everything in the physical world is a devolvement, if you will, from the spiritual world. Our spiritual alliance is far greater importance than the physical alliance, the bonds that we have with nations in around the world. Yes, it's an important relationship. Yes, it's an important bond, but our heavenly bond, our divine bond, our bond to God Almighty through Torah and mitzvahs for the Jewish people, for the Jewish nation, is the of utmost importance. It's our true reality and our authenticity. Based on that, the things on the ground will work itself out. So let's listen to some of the workings on the ground and have a further discussion about the heavenly bond of the Jewish people. Listen in.
Mr. Prime Minister, it's great to see you. It was a pleasure to see you last night in the White House as well. It is the truth that we have no greater ally in the state of Israel. We're honored to stand alongside you, stare down many of the same threats that you do. And under President Trump's leadership, just like you, we are totally committed to achieving peace through strength, through standing with Israel on our side, putting America first, and never backing down from anything. It has been and will continue to be an unbreakable bond between our countries. As you know, I've had a chance to visit Israel 8 or 9 times, spent time with you at the Western Wall, watched the IDF in action, visited terror tunnels, understand the proximity, whether it's the Golan Heights or Hezbollah or the Gaza Strip, the threat that Israeli citizens have been under. And it always struck me the sense of purpose that permeates the state of Israel, living under an existential threat. And I've always had a great deal of respect for the response that country has had. And now destroying Hamas's capabilities in Gaza, Hezbollah's capabilities in the north, damaging the Houthi infrastructure in Yemen, and things that are of great importance to America. Those are all of great importance to us. But in September of 2024, killing the man responsible for the 1983 bombing of the Marine Corps compound in Beirut, killing 241 Americans. You have a long memory. We have a long memory. And may our relationship continue to endure. We're going to continue to grow our defense industrial base. We've supplied munitions that were previously not supplied, that are useful in eradicating radical enemies, and we are committed to continuing to do so. So I hope you've noticed here at the Defense Department under President Trump, we are laser focused on reviving the warrior ethos, on rebuilding America's military, and reestablishing deterrence, which is something you, Prime Minister, have done in your neighborhood in impressive, aggressive, and important ways. So it's an honor to welcome you to the Pentagon on behalf of the Department of Defense. Thank you for spending the afternoon with us, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Secretary Pete. You've been a great and stalwart friend of Israel. And we see President Trump and the team that he's put together as extraordinary friends, extraordinary patriots of America, and therefore also champions of the American-Israel alliance. I truly believe Israel obviously has no greater friend than the United States, and I think the United States has no better friend than Israel. It's an ally that perhaps is different from many of your allies because we have no compunction about fighting our enemies by ourselves. We're willing to shoulder the burden of our defense, but by confronting the forces of radicalism and terror and the forces that are anti-American at their core. They call you the great Satan, and they call us the small Satan. We just stand in their way, but you are their great enemy. By confronting these various enemies, we're not only defeating those who wish to attack us, but those who wish to attack you as well. And therefore, our victory is your victory. And we're well ahead and well advanced in the pursuit of our war goals that will give security and peace. And that's the only way you get it in our region and perhaps in many other regions. The only way you get peace and an enduring peace is by being very, very strong. And with our alliance, with your support, including the decision you just mentioned of supplying Israel the much-needed tools for our defense, we are a lot stronger than we've ever been. I thank you for this warm reception. It's good to see you again, and I look forward to our discussions away from the cameras.
Important discussions in order to gain the strength with armament that is necessary. And it's definitely very important, this alliance. No greater ally does America have in Israel, and no greater ally does Israel have in America. But that might be just today. Things can always turn around. Not necessarily that was the case previously. And the ultimate unbreakable bond is of the Jewish people themselves, between themselves. The strongest power in this world is not the Pentagon, is not the American president at any time, but it's actually the Jewish people when they're united. The unbreakable bond of the Jewish people is the most powerful force on earth. Why is that? Not because of the strong military, not because of the geniuses of the Jewish people, winning 25% of Nobel Prizes when we make up 0.2% of the world population. No, but as we spoke earlier, because of our unbreakable bond to our heritage, to the Jewish way of life, to Torah and mitzvahs, to God Almighty, as He empowered us at Mount Sinai when He gave us the Torah. He gave us our marching orders and what it means to be a Jew and to live as a Jew in the world, where we have a responsibility for every Jew for each other. And we have also a responsibility for all of humanity to be a light unto the nations. That is our true firepower. Torah mitzvahs, the acts of loving kindness, the fact that a Jewish man puts on tefillin and prays to God. Jewish women light their Shabbat candles and give a prayer to God before they light. That divine connection through the commandments of God is our true divine strength, which in turn gives us the strength down here in this world. That America is supportive is kudos to America. It's actually their merit. But whatever happens, the Jewish people, it's the strength that we have in the bond together and the strength that we have through our commitment to the divine mission that God has empowered us with to change the world for good, to bring the final redemption of Mashiach